Coming up on Mountain News this morning, an Eastern Kentucky mayor is making his way to the state Senate after a last-minute campaign. And one city tried an alternative way to vote this year after they invited folks to cast a ballot from the comfort of their car.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We're almost at 6 o'clock this Friday morning. Today is November 8th. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, we were just kind of talking about caffeine, and why need it today? There's no rain, it's not cold.
Yeah, there's nothing exciting happening, right?
Yeah, we're having a good one. We're not all, it's raining, you know.
It's good weather for a Friday, right?
Yes,
exactly. And as we take a look at those temperatures right now, you can continue to see that trend as we head out that door. We're going to have those 50s. You're not going to see that rain. It's not going to be too cold. You're probably going to need that caffeine. It is quite boring of a day, but hey, those temperatures will be getting warmer. We're going to see those mid to upper 60s, with some places potentially even seeing that 70-degree mark being hit where they haven't had much of that rain. So at least there's something looking up. And another thing to look forward to is the lack of rain for today. We had rain the past 2 days and will continue to stay dry throughout the rest of today and for most of tomorrow, though we do have some chances for rain peaking up in the evening hours of your Saturday. But as we look at the next 12 hours, those temperatures will be warming up, hitting that high temperature around that 3 p.m. mark. Mostly sunny skies throughout your day and partly cloudy skies throughout your evening hours. I'll have your bus stop forecast in just a couple of minutes. Madison?
All right, Megan, thank you. Here in the Commonwealth, Governor Andy Beshear spoke yesterday about his current focus as Kentucky's leader and addressed his political future as he looks ahead to 2028. The governor emphasized that serving the people of Kentucky remains his top priority for the remainder of his term.
Proud to be the governor of Kentucky. I'm excited to continue to be governor every single day for the rest of my term. We'll see what the future holds in the future, but right now my only focus is on this job, is about making sure I continue to stand up for Kentuckians and all Americans to ensure that their rights are respected.
Governor Beshear added that he will work with any administration that benefits Kentucky, but will oppose any that threatens democracy. It is official. Pineville Mayor Scott Maiden won the historic write-in seat for the 29th State Senate District. Maiden says the untimely death of Senator Johnny Turner left him with a short window to make a big decision. He said the endorsements from the Senate Republican Campaign Caucus and Congressman Hal Rogers helped him, but he says one endorsement felt most important.
It didn't feel right, to be outdone it, but when I got that endorsement from the family, it really helped ease my mind and gave me a sense of, hey, it's okay, go ahead.
Maiden will hold his seat as Pineville mayor until he is sworn in to the Senate. The Pineville City Council will then appoint a council member to serve the remainder of his term. Voters in Bell County cast their ballots for a new 44th Judicial Circuit Commonwealth's attorney on Tuesday. Republican Mike Taylor won by a large margin against Democratic opponent Jesse Jean Moberg. Taylor beat out the incumbent Lisa Fugit in the May primary. He won the county with more than 69% of the vote. He says it is now time to get to work solving issues of overcrowding in the detention center.
The cases are going to move, and if they don't move, they're going to have jury trials, and we're going to have either acquittals or convictions, but one way or the other, we're going to get this mess cleaned up, and we're going to do it quickly.
Taylor won the election despite longtime Commonwealth's attorney and Republican Karen Green Blondell endorsing his opponent. Kentuckians voted no on Amendment 2, one of the constitutional amendments that was on the state's ballot this election. The amendment proposed allowing Kentucky lawmakers to use tax money to fund private and charter schools. Those who were against the amendment, like Tiffany Combs with Perry County Schools, says this is a big win for students. On the other side, Tim Crawford with Redbird Christian Schools says relying on private funds can be a challenge.
Today's economies, for the world and for particularly the United States, charitable giving is really down, and so there's more and more pressure for us to be able to find sources of funding to be able to continue here at Redbird Christian School.
Honestly, as it is, public schools are underfunded. So I think that this gives us the opportunity to look at how we can make sure that every student has success. You know, address the teacher shortage or universal pre-K for everyone across the state. There's just so many things that we can do to improve success, but reducing public education funding is definitely not one of those.
She says cutting funds would make it more challenging to address issues such as the teacher shortage. And he says since before Election Day, the school has been looking for new ways to find outside funding. Many counties in Kentucky allowed voters to cast their ballots early, either through a mail-in ballot or by showing up to the polls before Election Day. But Anderson County did something different. They allowed folks to drive through and vote. It came about when Lawrenceburg Mayor Troy Young brought it up to County Clerk Jason Denny. That is when he took him to the city's maintenance garage. A 4-lane operation was created, allowing 12 to 16 cars to fit into the area at a time.
We're running about 60% of our total voters go through the drive-thru, whether it's early voting or Election Day, all combined.
But Denny says the endeavor did not come without its challenges. He says to host drive-thru voting, it takes 2 to 3 times the number of election workers and more equipment than is needed for a standard polling place. In West Virginia, voters decided who would become the state's next governor. Republican Patrick Morrisey defeated Democrat Steve Williams and other candidates, receiving more than 62% of the votes. Morrisey is currently the state's attorney general and has served in that role since 2012. Morrisey is replacing Jim Justice as West Virginia governor. Justice, a Republican, was elected as a state senator this year, defeating Democrat Glenn Elliott and Libertarian David Moran. Justice won in a landslide, receiving approximately 69% of the vote. Justice has been West Virginia's governor since 2017. In Virginia, Tim Kaine was re-elected to the Senate. Kaine, who is a Democrat, was elected to a 3rd term, knocking off a Republican challenger. Kaine received approximately 54% of the votes. Kaine served as a senator since 2013 and was the Democratic nominee for vice president in 2016 as Hillary Clinton's running mate.
We have calm winds across the eastern Kentucky region, and because of that, we're not going to see too much movement in those clouds today. But as you can see, calm throughout the area. If you're in Prestonsburg, Monticello, Jacksboro, and Somerset, you can see that 5-mile-an-hour wind. And as we continue to look at those clouds moving across our area, really just the clouds and the fog will be the story for today. No big rain events today. And those high temperatures, well, those will be absolutely fantastic, cooler than we've been this week. We're not seeing those upper 70s like we did on Election Day, but instead the upper 60s. There are some places that could potentially see that low 70 mark being hit, as they have not gotten much rain the past couple of days. And as we go through the next couple of hours, well, there we go. From 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., we have temperatures increasing at that 3 p.m. mark, seeing the high temperatures with clouds staying with us throughout the entire day. I'll have your ARH 7-day forecast in just a couple of minutes. Madison.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. When we return, inflation is starting to cool down after years of enormous rates following the pandemic.